Welcome to the session on turbo machines. We are discussing on hydraulic turbines. In the last class, we discussed on the working of Pelton wheel and the working of Francis turbine. In this class, we are discussing on the Kaplan turbine. Kaplan turbine is an axial flow turbine in which the water enters. Kaplan turbine is an axial flow turbine in which the flow of water is parallel to the axis of rotation of the shaft. Here you can see the water enters parallel to the axis of rotation of the shaft, and hence it is called the axial flow turbine. The construction and working of Kaplan turbine and Francis turbine is almost the same. Similar to the Francis turbine, the Kaplan turbine is also consists of a spiral casing. Okay, here also the spiral. What is the function of spiral casing? It is to uniformly distribute the water through the runner blades and to maintain constant velocity of the fluid of the water which is flowing through the runner blades. Okay, the only difference in case of Kaplan turbine is the number of blades which are attached to the runner can be varied, but in case of Kaplan turbine, in case of Francis turbine, the turbine blades cannot be varied. But in case of Kaplan turbine, the number of blades which are attached to the runner can be varied. The number of blades varies from 4 to 6 and they are having the shape of aerofoil. The shape of the blade is aerofoil and the number of blades can be varied from 4 to 6. The runner of a Kaplan turbine looks like a propeller of a ship and hence it is also called propeller turbine. Here the blades are fixed to the shaft at the bottom, which is having some larger section. This larger section of the shaft is called the boss or hub, and the blades are fixed to this hub or boss. Okay, this is about the Francis turbine. It is an axial flow turbine in which the number of blades can be varied. The blades are fixed to the hub or the boss. The shape of the blade is of aerofoil structure. Since the water flows parallel to the axis of rotation of the shaft, it is called axial flow turbine. Since it looks like the runner of a Kaplan turbine is similar to the propeller of a ship, it is also called propeller turbine. Okay. The discharge through the runner of a Kaplan turbine is given by Q into pi by 4 into d naught square minus dB square, where d naught square is the outer diameter of the runner and dB is the diameter of the hub or boss. Since the flow is axial, the blade velocity remains the same at the inlet and the outlet, and it is given by U equals pi d naught into N by 60, where d naught is the outer diameter of the runner. And since the water enters axially and leaves axially, since it is an axial flow turbine, the axial component of the velocity Vf1 becomes equals to Vf2. Okay, that's all about the hydraulic turbines. This completes the discussion on hydraulic turbines. Next we will solve some problems on hydraulic turbine. The problem number 1 is on Pelton wheel. Pelton wheel has to be designed for the following data. Power to be developed is 5880 kilowatt. The net head available is 300 meter. Speed is 550 rpm. The ratio of jet diameter to wheel diameter is 1 by 10 and overall efficiency is 85%. We need to find what is the number of jets required, what is the diameter of the jet, the diameter of the wheel and the quantity of water required. What he has given? He has given the data such as what is the power developed by the turbine. It is 5880 kilowatt and the net head available at the inlet of the turbine is 300 meter and the speed at which the turbine rotates is 550 rpm. The ratio of jet diameter to wheel diameter, nothing but small d by capital D, where small d is diameter of the jet or nozzle and wheel diameter on which the blades are fixed, capital D. Okay, the ratio of small d to capital D, the jet ratio he has given. The jet ratio is 1 by 10, nothing but 0.1 and overall efficiency as 85%. And he asks us to find the number of jets required to cause an flow through the Pelton wheel for the above conditions. The number of jets can be found by using the equation Q is equals to N into area into velocity, because the total flow which is flowing through the turbine can be given by the continuity equation area into velocity multiplied by number of jets gives the total water which is flowing through the turbine. Here in this equation Q is equals to N into A into V. He has not given the diameter of the jet or the nozzle which is spraying water on the turbines, but he has given the ratio of D by capital D and he has not given the value of V1, the velocity of the water which is flowing through the turbine. First we need to find out what is the value of capital D, what is the value of Q and then what is the value of V1, then we can find the number of jets. But to find Q we are having the equation overall efficiency and he has given the value of overall efficiency also. Overall efficiency is given by the shaft power by water power. He has given the power developed by the turbine divided by water power is given by rho QGH. Okay, in this term we know the value of power developed by the turbine. Rho is given, G is given and H is given. We can find out the total discharge through the turbine. Next, the velocity of flow through the turbine can be found V equals square root of 2gh, but he has given the CV value, coefficient of velocity. Therefore, the velocity of flow can be given by the equation CV into square root of 2gh. By using this equation, V1 can be found, but we need U. To find U, he has given the speed ratio as 0.46. Speed ratio equals blade velocity by velocity of the water. We can find out U. Once we find U, we can find out D, because we need here small d. To find small d, he has given the jet ratio D by D as 1 by 10. To find capital D, we are having the equation U equals blade velocity can be given by the equation pi into D into N by 60. We can find the value of capital D, the diameter of the runner. Once we find the diameter of the runner, we can find the diameter of the jet or the nozzle. Here now we found all the terms which are required to find the number of jets. Substituting the values of small d, V1 and Q, we can find out the value of number of jets, which is the only unknown. and he also asks us to find the diameter of the jet, diameter of the wheel, and the quantity of required. Already we found to find the number of jets. Okay. The next problem is a Kaplan turbine produces 58,800 kilowatt working under a head of 25 meter. It produces the same power as the Pelton wheel, 58,800 kilowatt, but it works under a head of 25 meter, and it is having an overall efficiency of 90%. Taking the value of C here in this problem also, he has given the speed ratio as 1.6, flow ratio as 0.5, and he has given that up diameter is equals to, it is 35% of the outer diameter. We need to find out what is the diameter of the wheel and speed of the turbine. Similar to the last problem, here also overall efficiency is given by shaft power by water power. Shaft power is given, we know all the terms. Rho is the density of the water is 1000, 8 is given, overall efficiency is given, we can find out Q. The total discharge through the turbine for a Kaplan turbine, we are having the equation pi by 4 equals d naught square minus dB square into velocity of flow at the inlet. But he has given the flow ratio as 0.5. Therefore, the flow velocity at the inlet is 0.5 times the absolute velocity. Substituting this, here d naught is unknown and dB is unknown, d suffix b is unknown, but he has given in the problem that up diameter means dB equals 0.35 times the outer diameter. Substituting this condition here, we can find out the diameter of the outer diameter of the Kaplan turbine, because Q we already found. Vf1 can be found by, it is 0.5 times the absolute velocity according to the flow ratio. To find absolute velocity, we are having equation square root of 2gh. H is given, g is known, acceleration due to gravity. We can find out the outer diameter of the wheel. We need to find out what is the diameter and speed of the turbine. To find speed of the turbine, we are having U equals pi d naught into N by 60. Using this equation, we can find out N, because already D value is known, nothing but d naught. If we know the value of U, we can find out N. But to find out U, we are having the speed ratio which is equals to U by V1. V1 is equals to square root of 2gh. Speed ratio is given. We can find out the blade velocity. Once the blade velocity is found, substituting in this equation, we can find out the value of N. Okay, that's all for today. That completes your fourth module.